Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream, the lecture on horticultural and ornamental crops and landscape design. Please do me a favor if you've joined this class, indicate in the comment section that you are present, you are here, so that we can have a better interaction. So today's class is going to be we're going to go straight to the point. We're going to go straight to the point. So, okay, I can see that one person just joined the class. All right. The meaning of horticulture. Horticulture is a branch of agriculture dealing with production and management of fruits, vegetables, flowers, ornamental plants, and landscape system. It is divided into three or four rather. We have pomology. Horticulture is divided into various branches: pomology, olericulture, floriculture, and landscape horticulture. So pomology, that's fruit crops, example mango, pawpaw, and citrus. We have olericulture, which is the study of vegetables, example okra, fruited pumpkin, amaranth, and all the rest of them. We have floriculture, which is flowers and ornamentals. Example, your hibiscus, marigold, roses, and all the rest of them. Plenty of them. We have landscape horticulture. That one deals with planning, design, and maintenance of landscape. These are all the works of a horticulturist. The importance of horticulture to Nigeria and Africa: beautification of homes, institutions, and parks, job creation in landscaping, floristry. When I say floristry, that's for those that deal on flowers, garden maintenance, climate regulation in urban areas. Most urban areas have been deforested to a great length. So it is the job of a floriculturist or the horticulturist to reforest these urban areas through floriculture. That's climate regulation in urban areas, improve mental health and environmental aesthetics. Over time, it's been established that beautiful, beautiful environments impact positively on our mental health, and that is why even in psychiatry, they would psychiatrics would place patients in beautifully adorned environments with flowers and all both hardscape and softscape features. I will explain in details what softscape and hardscape means in landscape design and management. I will explain that later. So, and the last but not the least of the importance of horticulture to Nigeria and Africa is income generation through ornamentals. I know we see all these ornamentals on our roads, all those floriculturists and even people that grow fruits. Those are part of the job of the floriculture of the horticulturist. So it generates income for the horticulturist. And a example of ornamentals that generates income for horticulturists include roses, anthurium, palms. We have so many palms, especially here in Africa and Nigeria, precisely. We have the royal palm. We have uh, there are more than 10 varieties of palms. The royal palm, the dwarf king, the the dwarf queen, and all the rest of the golden palm. All these are examples of palms. So they generate income for the farmers. So when we meet in our physical class, I will tell you one experience I had with a roadside horticulturist during my MSc days. It was very, very funny. When I mean so funny, yeah, so funny. I'll tell you this story when we meet. It's to prepare every young agriculturist, every young horticulturist to explore in the outside world. So, and I will show you the examples of these ornamentals in a clip that I will post on this channel after uh this video. I actually prepared a clip to play here, but unfortunately I can't play that video now. I can't play it here. But you'll see these examples of these ornamentals in few minutes or an hour after this lecture. So, so we have shrubs like the hibiscus. We have trees like the frangipani and the ground covers like the wedlia. These are plants I will show you. But the most common around us here in Nigeria includes the izora, the bougainvillea, the hibiscus, the crown of thorns, snake plant, croton, and palms. Like I said, I already mentioned some palms, the royal palms, the tail, a very beautiful flower, the tail. The tail, I'll show you that one that looks like a fish. Right. So that's about the introduction to horticulture, and let's go to climate distribution of tropical ornamentals. Tropical climate refers to the warm and when we say tropical climate, is equal to, let me put it in a mathematical equation. Tropical climate equals warm plus high humidity. Yeah, and tropical climate supports ornamentals like the heliconias, hibiscus, palms, orchid, ficus, croton, and bougainvillea. These I've mentioned before. Light temperature, wind, rainfall all influence ornamental performance. Yes, light, temperature, wind, rainfall all influence ornamental performance. And nature made it such a way that the tropics, where we are, uh, promotes the growth of these ornamentals and horticultural crops that I mentioned earlier. For instance, there are ornamentals that are sun loving. For instance, the bougainvillea, the adenium, and the lantana. These are three ornamentals that love sun so much. They love sun so much. There are also ornamentals that prefer to grow in shade. We call them shade plants, like the ferns. When I mean ferns, FERNX, the peace lily, and so many of them. I know you've gone to churches, especially the Catholic Church and the Anglican Church, and so many other churches. You see where they decorate their altars with ornamentals. When you look at them properly, you will see the pattern of the type of ornamentals using those decorations. And these plants can stay inside um, these churches for weeks, for months without dying. They are shade-loving plants. One of them is the caladium that we use mostly in Nigeria, the one that has patches like a defoliated leaves. There are so many of them. I will give you the list of all these shade-loving plants. So So I said we have the sun-loving ornamentals like the bougainvillea, the adenium, and lantana. We have the shade-loving plants, the ferns, the peace lily, and DFM That's I will remember the look when I remember the local name. I will also tell you the local name. So so is why is it that some plants love shade, the others while others don't like shade? Some plants will burn, like they will experience sunburn when they are exposed to too much sunlight, like the calathea. The calathea is a plant I will show you. The calathea experience sunburn when it is exposed to too much sunlight, and we have those that also that are affected by too little sunlight, like the leggy growth in Dracania, sorry, Dracinia, Draciana. Yeah, that's the name of the plant, Draciana. Yeah, it experiences leggy growth when it is under when it's exposed to too little sunlight. So types of ornamental plants. Let me break this one down now. You can take note if you can. The shade plants, shade trees. We have the almond tree. You know the almond tree. The almond, the one we normally call we call it fruit when we are children. That's the almond. Yeah, it's a shade tree. Almond tree. With the botanical name is Terminalia Terminalia catapa. Terminalia catapa. But the botanical name is not of essence here. We have the mango, that's the Mangifera indica, yeah, used in homesteads. We have the royal poinciana, yeah, that's the local name is the flamboyant tree. So we have ground covers and lawns. There are ground covers and lawn grasses. We have the carpet grass, we have the bahia grass, we have the zoysia grass, and of importance in Nigeria is the one we call Port Harcourt grass. That is almost all over southeastern Nigeria. The Port Harcourt grass. We also have the one we call the granite grass, the one that looks like the Arachis hypogaea leaf, the granite. Yeah, we call it granite grass. So we also have the annual flowers. We have annual flowers like the marigold. There's something special about marigold which I will tell you in our next class. Yeah, marigold. We have the zinnia. We have the celosia, yeah, popularly known in Nigeria. The celosia is very popular in Nigeria. We have perennial shrubs and hedges like the hibiscus. Yeah, the hibiscus is all over so many institutions in Nigeria, like Unizik, Uniport, and even government ministries and agencies. The hibiscus is usually used in adorning, creating paths and all the rest of them. That's pathways. So we have the Duranta, we have the Croton, we have the Izora. That one is also very popular. The Izora. We have the Indian almond dwarf. That one is used mainly for hedges. We have palm as ornamentals too that I've told us earlier. The foxtail palm. We have the date palm. The date palm, that one that is very very sweet. Date palm performs best in northern Nigeria. In northern Nigeria, we have the coconut too, and those royal palm. We have royal palm. We have the dwarf kings and all the rest of them. So many palms. So we have palms as ornamentals too, and even your normal oil palm can serve as ornamental depending on how you plant it and how you maintain it. We have the rock garden plants like the aloe vera, we call them the rock garden plant. The aloe vera, the agave, the the sensiviaria. Yeah, that's the name. That one is not so common here, but the aloe vera, the agave, and some others that are commonly found around us here, they are referred to as rock garden plants. We also have aquatic plants like the water lilies, that the beautiful lily. Yeah, the water lilies, the papyrus, and the duckweed. You know the duckweed. You know the duckweed. That one is also so common. The duckweed. We have orchids like the Vanda orchids and the Phalaenopsis orchid. These are types of orchid that we have around us too. So about types of ornamental plants. So let's look at nursery management. All these ornamentals are raised in gardens. All of them, yeah, all of them are raised in gardens. You, as a horticulturist, is not expected to uh, go into the field to establish these crops, these ornamentals. They are better raised in nurseries. They are where they are given intensive care before they are now taken to the field where they are planted, where they are used. They are planted for the purpose of maybe aesthetics or all those importance I listed out over the at the beginning of the lecture. So you can in the nursery there are things we need to do. We know we have propagation facilities, we have environmental control, watering and fertilization, and the hardening of seedlings. That of hardening of seedlings, I am sure that every is should be well understood by every horticulturist. Hardening of seedlings is a period of time when you gradually expose a plant that is being raised in the nursery to the harsh gradually is a process of gradually exposing a plant that is being grown in the nursery to the harsh environment of the field. Let's take, for instance, you're growing something like a tomato. They just germinated in your nursery tray. You don't just move them. Maybe at the end of the 4 weeks, their fourth week in the nursery, you just move them straight to the field. No, it's expected that you gradually, maybe after their germination, yeah, they usually germinate 4 days after planting, or 5 days after planting. Maybe from the second week, it's expected that you gradually begin to bring them outside, gradually begin to expose them to sun, so that they will start getting adapted to the uh, um, that harshness of the sun, which they will experience when they eventually go to the field. If you don't harden them, if you don't expose them, if you don't expose them to these field conditions, and all of a sudden you plant them in the field, the tendency that plenty of them will not survive will be fair. The probability, the probability that more than 80% will not survive the field condition will be more than 80%. So you gradually expose your ornamentals the same way you expose these other crops to the harsh environment, environment. You also expose ornamentals that same way to the field, to the scorching sun and others. Maybe you might start, maybe for the first day, you open them up to the sun by, say, 1 hour, maybe the early morning sun. The after two, you can do that for 2 days. The third day, you extend it by to 2 3 hours. The fourth day, you extend it to maybe 5 hours until maybe the by at the end of the fourth week or the fifth week when you're transplanting. I'm talking about um, things like tomato, pepper, and all the rest of them. By the time you're about they're about 5 weeks, which is when they are supposed to be transplanted to the field, they would have adapted. When you now plant them, they will not see the scorching sun as something as something new, as something new. So that is what we are talking about. Hardening of hardening of seedlings, ornamentals, or every crop raised in the nursery is very, very important. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. So that's about that. So um, we have a seed what we call we have seed trays, which you all know. We have a now, yeah, you we are talking about nursery management here. We're talking about nursery management, and I said we have seed trays, some as one of the things you use when you're doing your sorry, excuse me, just give me a second. Let me get material I want to show you. Let me see if it's handy. Okay, sorry, I can't share that here now, but I will share it maybe soon later. So we have a seed trays, yeah, preparation. Now, in the last video, the video I uploaded on my channel a few days ago, where I talked about potting media explained. That's the title of that video. Potting media explained. If after this lecture you can as well look at that video, it would explain to you. I talked about uh, potting media. So in nursery management, potting media is very, very important. And the standard potting media, it usually consists of topsoil, sand, river sand, and poultry manure. Topsoil, river sand, and poultry manure. But then when you go to the real world, in the real agricultural world these days, that's uh, the standard. The standard potting media is is not let me not say it's no longer in use, but it's been replaced by soilless media like the use of cocoa peat, use of sawdust and rice husk and all those. Yeah, soilless media has actually replaced the use of the standard nursery media. So but here I will still tell you use of topsoil plus compost and sharp sand. We also missed watering, that irrigation is also very important about in nursery management. So in nursery management, this is one thing I would make out time and demonstrate, show you the practical way of managing a nursery, starting from raising growing seeds, plants in situ, yeah, preparing the media, the potting media, and the potting media down to maybe laying them in the situ or potting the bags or whatever container we are um, you want to use to grow these crops. So now that brings us to propagation of ornamental plants. Propagation of ornamental plants. We know there are methods of propagation. We know the sexual and the asexual propagation. But then most ornamentals are propagated asexually through stem cuttings and all the rest of them. The reason for asexual propagation is because it gives you something offspring that is true to type. When I mean true to type, offsprings that are true to type. You plant a croton and it gives you the exact croton that you planted. That's you should by now you should know the advantages of uh asexual propagation and sexual propagation. Asexual will make you have 100% of the features of the plant you saw, like the plant you want, the what that which you want to plant, the ornamental you're using. The advantage of using asexual is that by the time you cut the branch and plant it, or the leaf, whichever of the part of the plant you're using to propagate, you get exactly what you planted, unlike in seeds where there may be differences. Where there may be differences. Yeah. So now I said we there are propagation methods. We have the seed propagation in palms, like in palms, zinnias and marigold. We use seed. Yeah, we use seed in palm propagation. We use seed in palm propagation. Yeah. So we in vegetative propagation, we have things like the stem cutting. Their sexual is as good as is what I mean by vegetative propagation, and the seed is what I mean. I said sexual propagation is propagation via by use of seeds, and asexual is the use of the vegetative part as the vegetative propagation. So vegetative propagation includes stem cuttings like in hibiscus and bougainvillea. You will say I've mentioned this bougainvillea so much, and I know plenty of you know bougainvillea. One of the assignments I'll give to you, my viewers, is to look around, identify the bougainvillea plant, and tell me the features of a bougainvillea. So that's my little assignment for you. Yeah. So I talked about stem cuttings, and I mentioned the hibiscus and bougainvillea. We have leaf cuttings like the sansevieria. Yep, and there's this one we call the most common around me. I don't know about you if it's common around you. Uh, the one that once the leaf drops on the ground, and once the leaf is in contact with the soil, it will do what? It will germinate. It will sprout. Let me know the name of that plant. I won't tell you. Let me know the name of that plant in the comment section. Yeah, if you're paying attention, let me know the name of that plant. It's propagated via the leaf. The leaf sprouts once it's in contact with the soil. Let me know the name of that leaf in the comment section. So we continue. So we have root cuttings like the herbaceous plants. In some herbaceous plants, we use their roots. Yeah, herbaceous plants, we use their roots to propagate them. We have root cuttings too. Also, we have a layering. You know the layering. Layering, I will describe that briefly. We have a grafting and budding. Grafting and budding, I may not be able to do that here now until maybe when I'll be able to share my screen with you. So, but for layering, I can describe that quickly. So, like the inficus and the croton, layering is just very simple. It's the kind of situation where you use how do you put it now? Use you can use sand, put sand in a something that looks like this. Use it, tie it around the, maybe create little make it look like a bit oval around the stem. Tie it at this end, at both ends. Tie it at both ends and give it. But then when you're tying, you ensure that the media you are tying to the that branch is moist. Most times, it's good you put you add the rooting rooting things that will help it to root faster. And in this case, I won't suggest you go for chemicals. Yeah, you can use coconut water. Coconut water, um, coconut water. It's rooting of stems. It's the rooting of stems. You can use the coconut water, apply it, and tie the media, whether soil or soilless, and make sure it's moist. Give it like 2 3 weeks. You would find out that new roots would emerge. You can now cut off the the propagate from the main plant and take it to the field where you want to keep it. So that about that. Now we also have advanced propagation like the blue and the polyembryony and the apomesis. I won't delve into that now. I won't delve into polyembryony and the apomesis, but then note that they exist. Note that these two advanced propagation methods exist. Polyembryony commonly used in citrus ornamentals and the apomesis. I know you must have heard about apomesis before. Apomesis usually occur when fertilization there is a pollination in a plant. When there's pollination in a plant, but fertilization didn't complete. Let's say incomplete fertilization in a flower. That's apomesis. Yeah, when there's incomplete fertilization in a flower, pollination will take place, but uh, it will not be fertilization will not be complete. That's apomesis. Any fruit or any whatever that comes out from such a process is referred to apomesis. So that's about that. So we move on to the next things that I would have loved to illustrate or demonstrate if we were in a physical class would have been to select semi-hardwood for some of these illustration for the grafting and budding we just talked about. Applying rooting hormones. I also talked to you about root hormones, where I said, but in this case, you don't need to use the chemicals. But your coconut water serves as a perfect rooting hormone. A rooting hormone is a perfect rooting hormone. Even your cassava, if you want to plant your cassava and you have access to enough coconut water, you can decide to be dipping your cassava stem inside coconut water before planting. It the plant to root very very fast. So that's one of the things I would have demonstrated, but I think that won't be easy for you to do. And I also explained to insert a moist these stems in moist sand, like the one I talked about, tying of that when you're doing grafting. Also, so we can actually talk about let's say the bougainvillea. It's okay. Let's talk about the bougainvillea. In bougainvillea, if you want to plant bougainvillea, you 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 select the semi hardwood one that is not so hard, like the semi hardwood. Apply rooting hormones like that coconut water I mentioned. Insert it in in moist sand and cover it with transparent polythene. Once you do this, within weeks, your bougainvillea is ready for to germinate and ready to plant. That's fine. Okay, let me look at the comment section a little. Okay, one just Miss Summer said aloe vera is sort of okay. I think the aloe vera here refers to okay. This person said the name of the leaf is the sprout when contacted in the soil is a bryophyllum. Oh, that's very beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. But we'll look at these questions later. I'll look at your questions and reply to your questions individually. Your answers rather individually. Individually. Let me look for your questions and while we continue. Oh, sorry. I'm just seeing this. You are too fast. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. Maybe you can tell me the point where you didn't get me so well. I will be able to recap. I'll be able to recap. I'll be able to recap, even though this video will be here forever for you to come back and listen to. So another person saying, "Sir, the network is very bad." Wow, wow. So tell me, is the network still bad? I want to know if you can hear me very well. Someone should tell me if the network is too bad. Okay, sir, please, how do coconut water serve as routine hormone? This one, there's no science about this one. As routine hormone, all you need, there are hormone, there are chemicals, there are substances that help plants to root faster. There are so many chemicals out there in the market that help plant to root faster. But coconut is a natural hormone, has that hormone in it that enhance the rooting of stems. Yeah, you may not have heard this before, but that's what it does. Coconut water, it's a natural rooting enhancement hormone. Just dip your stem inside the coconut water and watch it root faster than any other when you compare it with other stems that you did not dip into coconut water before planting. So coconut water is a rooting hormone. It enhances root production in plants. You don't need to boil it. You don't need to add anything. Just once you break your coconut, pour the water. It's all you need to speed up your the rooting of your. Sir, is it done only on cassava? Can it be used? Can we use it on yam, etc? Rooting hormone, yes, you can use it on yams. But then I'll teach you something so special about yam. Yeah, yam multiplication. I'll tell you the best way to go about yam multiplication. The yam for your yam to root faster. If like I repeat, if you've watched that video that I uploaded earlier where I talked about nursery media explained, you will see yams that plenty of them that are rooted in a container. All of them produce beautiful roots in a container. Watch that video and you would understand everything about yam and some other crops that we can raise in the nursery. I will keep on dropping the. In fact, if you've not subscribed, just click on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on subscribe, and you will get updates whenever I drop any of these videos, including the ornamentals we just mentioned there, so that you know them and identify them. Just click on the on subscribe. It doesn't if YouTube won't charge you any money. Just your email is there. The email with which you just click on the on subscribe button. That's all you need to do. You don't pay for subscription on YouTube. Yeah. So so and I repeat again, this video will remain here. I will not delete it after this lecture. It will remain here. You can always come back here and um, and uh, and view it whenever you there is need for it. Whenever there's need for it, the video will remain here. So let's go to the next topic we want to next topic here, this horticultural structures and equipment. This is a very beautiful aspect. We have this the greenhouses, we have the shade nets, we have the mist chambers. We have tools like the secatua. You know the secatua. You know the pruning saws, the knapsack, the one you wear on your back, knapsack sprayers, and hose and rakes. These are some of the equipments you see we use in horticulture. For the greenhouses, for the sake of the students amongst us, the students who are listening to us, I will also upload videos of the greenhouses around. I have some. I will upload them so that you then see how you as a horticulturist can work in greenhouses, so that A horticulturist mustn't look dirty, mustn't appear dirty in this age and time. There are so many places where you can work, do full-time agricultural business, full-time agricultural work. I mean, as a producer, as a grower, and still knot your tie and wear your white agbada. Yeah, agbada is an African name for a particular clothes. I'm saying this for the sake of those of you who are watching from the Western world. So you can actually look beautiful or handsome, well dressed while in your field working. So I would be uploading the videos for you to see. Okay, we have 7 persons on the line. And it's okay, 8 now. All right, we'll continue. Please, do we need to plant pepper and tomatoes nursery before planting directly? Because last year I tried planting directly in the soil and it didn't grow well. It died after sprouting. Yes, that is expected. That is perfectly what it should be. You don't plant with tomato and pepper directly into the field. You raise them in the nursery. In fact, that is why you should subscribe to our channel so that you learn how to do those things for free. You learn them. I have plenty videos already that is being hosted on this channel. The question you just asked, you don't plant pepper and tomato directly. They may survive. The chances that one or two may survive is there, but believe me, you'll always lose more than 98% of your seeds. Raising them in the nursery is the best you can do, and as an agricultural student, that's the best you need. Raise them in the nursery, transplant later. The essence of the nursery is to give them intensive care, give them all that they need before they what uh, moving them to the field. The field is so harsh, the scorching sun, and I want to believe that the person that asked this question is probably lives in Nigeria. The sun, the temperature here, the atmosphere outside is not for weak plants. It's not for weak plants. That's why you need to raise your pepper, your tomato in the field, in the nursery before transplanting it to the field. Without that, you will always be running, losing. You will lose seeds. And I mean, you will always lose more than 98, if not up to 90. Sometimes you may even lose 100% of your seeds. Raise them in the nursery with your seed trays, or even in the field. Make a little bed with that is with little shade attached, where you raise your seedlings, where you nurse your seedlings. That's the best way to go. Yeah, yeah. Someone says, "Sir, I thought bougainvillea is propagated through stem cuttings." Yeah, bougainvillea is propagated via stem cuttings. That's it, through stem cuttings. And I told us earlier here that you can use that all you need is to get the soft part of the bougainvillea, the type the part that is not that is not so dignified yet, the soft part. Dip it in rooting hormone, which I said coconut water will serve, and place it in moist soil and cover with polythene, and see your bougainvillea sprout very fast. So that takes care of the question. So I have told us some of the horticultural structures and equipment, like the greenhouses, shade nets, mist chambers, and other tools like secatua, pruning saw, knapsack, sprayer, hose, and rakes. So our landscape design principles. Let me mention the landscape design principles. Let me mention it now that we are here. So landscape design principles. These include unity, unity, yeah, unity, UNITY, unity. balance, rhythm. I said unity, balance, rhythm, simplicity, proportion, and focal points. And focal points. What is unity? In every single design, in every single design of a landscape, all the elements of the design must appear as though they are one. These I will explain in our next lecture. Unity, balance, rhythm, simplicity, proportion, and focal points. These I will explain better in our next class. But then, for now, note that these are design principles. But then, any other question, please, before we continue? I think our lecture has dragged a bit long. We've already taken 45 and 46 minutes. Maybe we can. Okay, let me know if I should continue the class or stop here. We've already this is already 45 minutes. Okay, let me explain these a little. I already told you that elements of the principles of design include unity, balance, rhythm, simplicity, proportion, and the focal point. I already explained to you that unity is that aspect of the design that makes all the components of the design look as though they are one. When you look at the design from a distance, all of them appear to be one. And when you remove one of the elements of the design, everything appear to have what scattered. I don't know if you've noticed in your environment. Maybe you just returned from somewhere, and all of a sudden everywhere appear to be new. Maybe because one particular ornamental, one particular plant or one particular tree was removed from the environment, and everything just would everywhere would just change. That's one aspect of design. One of the principles of design is unity. You're able to notice the absence of that particular plant because its absence has created a kind of imbalance in this in the created a kind of imbalance in the environment. So for every landscape, there is need for balance in every landscape, in every design. What you have in the left, you should have on your right. Let's take for instance, I as your lecturer, look at my clothes here, look at my head. What I have on this side of my eyeglass, I have on this side of my eyeglass. Assuming I remove this lens here, and there's lens here. I remove this, and there's lens here. Won't you notice that there will be imbalance? There will be what? Imbalance. Because you'll be seeing lens here, I won't be seeing lens here. Everything will be disoriented. Look at my clothes. You see my collar here, and you see my collar here, and everything stopped at the same what point. If there's collar here and there's no collar here, it will appear somehow. Look at my shoulder. There's a balance. That's the same way it should be in your what? In your design. There should be balance in everything. Everything should balance. Where you have what you have on the left hand side, you should also have on the right hand side. Left hand side should be equal to right hand side, both in terms of height, in terms of color, hue, and all the rest of them. There should be what? Balanced. And there should also be what we call rhythm. What we call rhythm. There's a way your eyes move through a landscape. There should be rhythm. Like you have it tall here, you have it short here. You have it tall here, you have it short here. You don't arrange things in a disoriented way. The rhythm, if you have it white here at point A, you should have you want to maintain white all through, you maintain white all through. You want to be mixing it color. Let me take for instance, okay, my clothes cannot give that illustration. Yeah, okay, okay. I think it is. I can look at here. Look at where this one is. Look at where this one is. Look at this particular color here. Look at this color. Okay, look at the one on this tree. Don't know if it's visible to you. Look at the one on this tree. Look at this one here. And on this side also, you see this one here, you see this one here. You see the balance. Yeah, that's balance. And they are almost where this one is where this one is on this side. Look at them. Look at them. We're talking about balance. We're talking about reading. Look at their distance. Okay, I would maybe explain this also better when we meet physically for some of you who are my personal students who are here. So simplicity in your design. Always try to keep your designs very simple. Always try to keep your designs very simple. Don't make them complex. I am talking about landscape design. When you're design a landscape, please always leave it simple. The more complex your design is, the the more you're bound to make mistakes. The more your design is the more your design will be faulted. The more your design is faulted. Yeah, the more your design is faulted. So you your the more you make your design complex, the more the error. So leave it simple, leave it leave it simple. The simpler the better. So when we talk about proportion, we're simply talking about scale. Let's also use this. Let me button let me use this. Look at scale. You look at the button. Let me bring down my screen. Okay, fine. Let's use this as a scale. You see this? The distance between this and this, and the distance between this and this, they are all equal. So when we talk about proportion, if you're planting your trees or whatever at 1 meter apart, maintain that 1 meter plant spacing. If you're planting at 1.5 meters, maintain 1.5 meters apart. That is proportion. There must be proportion for everything you're measuring, for everything you're planting. Keep them, keep maintain the proportion. Don't put one at 1.5 meter. On the other side, you put one at 1 meter, or put one at 9 meters. And the other side, you put one at 10 or 11 meters. It makes the whole thing disoriented. And last but not the least, there's what we call focal point in every design. The focal point is that which leads the eye through a design. When you see some universities, some institutions and universities, yeah, established institutions, you ask yourself, why is it that there are towers, there are this, there are that? Yeah, these are referred to as focal points. Once you're driving into an institution or into every home, you notice that there's this particular feature of that home that your eyes, or that institution that your eyes goes to first. That is the focal point. That point that there's no way you enter that environment without first of all noticing it. That will always be your first point of what, the first point your eye will be your first contact. Your eye will always make its first contact with that particular feature. It is referred to as what, focal point. So that's what we mean by focal point, and that's that. Our next class, in our next class, we'll be looking at design practices and landscape construction. I didn't want to introduce landscape design today, this aspect, but let me introduce it. That's one of the things we'll discuss in our next class. design practices and landscape construction, landscape maintenance, culture and utilization of indoor plants. The field trip, we'll talk about that later for my students. For my students, those who are not my students will not be part of the field trip. So the field trip will be solely for my students. Yes. So other questions I will take them. I will respond to your questions individually. For those that have not answered, I will take them individually. Don't forget, before you leave this space, click on the follow on the subscribe button so that you would be notified when I upload some clips, some videos here that will help you understand what we've discussed here better. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. If you also feel that what we did here is nice, you can go ahead and share this lecture. You can go ahead and share this lecture. Yeah, thank you, and thanks for staying with me. There are 7 of you here who stayed with me till this point. Yeah, I would meet you possibly tomorrow, possibly tomorrow on when I'll come online live again, or on Monday. That I would by then I would have resolved some issues around my streaming, so that I'll be able to share my screen with you, so that you'll be able to see all the lectures as uh, you are supposed to have. I thank you so much once again, and remain blessed. Sorry, before I end the class, are there other questions? Please explain layering again. Okay. Uh, Instead of hanging on to explain layering, we've already taken 1 hour. I think I would edit this letter and take you straight to where we discussed layering, so that you would understand it. Layering is just a, okay. Let me explain anyway. Layering is just a simple. Layering is a mode of propagation you where you use something like polythene or any other material, uh, add your rooting media, when I mean either sand, rice or sawdust, or whatever you feel the plant should grow inside it. um, Wrap it with nylon such a way that you, when you place it on the stem, you cover and tie it at both ends. Then you can drop little rooting hormone like the coconut water in the media. You have to make sure that the you have to make sure that that you have to make sure that the media you're putting in the nylon or polythene or whatever that you want to tie to the branch where you want the roots to come out from is moist. Tie it there. It's just that's the simple. It's simpler than grafting and the budding. Just tie it, and once roots emerge, you cut the branch off the tree and plant it. You cut the branch off the main plant and plant. It's just very simple. I think I will do that practical. I will do that practical, and post the video here. Yeah, I'll put the video here so that those of you who are subscribed to my channel would always get notifications and come and view the lecture. So apart from this lecture, other things that will make you a better farmer, a better agriculturist, I always post them here. There are so many already on this channel. Do well to watch them. Do well to watch them. Those of them that really touched you, that you feel other people can learn from, you can share them on your social media handles. Yeah, my YouTube channel is not subscribed, so I'm not here to make money. I'm only using it to reach you, and It helps me after teaching. So that the video will remain here. Any other person that needs it can always listen to it, watch and listen and learn. Thank you and remain blessed. Meet you very soon.